Welcome to another edition of Law Talks. I'm Clay Williams. I'm a partner here at FH&P Lawyers, and I've got a special guest today, Rocky Ozaki. How are you?
I'm very well, Clay.
Well, I'm really happy that you're here. It's been a while. When was it that I actually met you? Was that 2 years ago?
2 years in Montreal, 2 years ago.
In Montreal. So to our listeners, Rocky was kind enough to come to our lawyer retreat and present and facilitate it. Yes. So it was very interesting. And now you're continuing your relationship with FH&P and doing a speaker series.
Yes, I am.
So first of all, I think our listeners would like to know a little bit about who the heck are you, what are you doing, what's your background?
Yeah, no, great. So I guess first and foremost, I am a local. So I'm a transplant. I moved here in 2020 during the pandemic, and my parents were born and raised here. Always knew I wanted to retire here, but I was living in Vancouver. And during the pandemic, I said, it's time to move to God's country. So I'm a local, live right here in Lake Country. A little bit about my background. So I often say I'm a recovering corporate executive, as a corporate leader of thousands of employees. And really quickly, in 2010, I first heard this term, the future of work. And where was it coming from? Silicon Valley. Right, back in 2010, I was like, dang, every company one day is going to become a technology company, Clay. So I left the corporate world, gone to startup tech, got deeply entrenched in this global innovation and technology scene, and I ended up starting 3 tech companies myself with 1 exit. And then 8 years ago, I started this business, which was on a mission to help legacy organizations modernize to thrive in these exponential times, like tech companies.
Like tech companies. And so what I've written down here, that your firm that is now called the Now of Work. Is that right? Yeah. And why the Now of Work instead of the Future of Work?
Okay, because the future is now.
The future is now, of course. I guess I'm too dense to get that. So the future, so the Now of Work, and what is your mission? Like, what do you do with that?
So I mean, one of our mission statement, actually, we call it the 7 C's. And so I'll say it slowly because I think it's quite profound. If you're a business leader today, what our organization will do in these crazy exponential times from AI and tariffs and global unrest and all this geopolitics stuff is that we will bring you the calm, clarity, confidence, compassion, creativity, and core capabilities to thrive in these exponential times. So we call that our 7 C's. And so whatever context your business is in, is we need to modernize, we feel like we're falling behind, we probably have a solution for you. And every leader's thinking about these things.
I totally agree. I mean, AI is on everybody's lips right now. Tariffs, that kind of stuff, I don't know what you can do about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think everybody needs to adopt AI. And I mean, we're trying. We're certainly doing our best to stay on top of that curve, and that's one of the reasons that we're associating with you, I guess. So, and one of the things that I think it's important for our viewers to know is one of the things that FH&P is doing is putting on these speaker series. And Rocky, you are our first speaker.
Yes.
And so you're doing a series of 3. And so you've just finished one, I understand, and that was the, what was it called? How and Why You Must Coexist with AI.
That's right.
And very well attended. I mean, people standing.
And controversial. Not everyone likes AI, Clay.
Well, it's scary.
It can be, yeah.
I think it's really scary, and I worry about what's going to happen with young people and training and, and who's going to have a job. And, you're right. There's sure a lot of people, they're very worried about what's going to happen. But you gave them some answers.
I did.
And so... Give us some answers.
Again, remember, calm, clarity, calmness, compassion. That's what we bring. Yeah. So what are the answers? I could go on for hours, Clay, so I won't.
Well, in fact, you did go on for hours.
I did. I went on for 2.5 hours. Actually, we went half an hour over. Right. They were so engaged. So the why you're going to coexist with AI, the first thing is you're going to fall behind if not. Mm-hmm. So whether you believe in AI or not, whether you don't trust it or not, the reality is that the leading organizations are investing there and the technologies is growing fast. And the proof is there. So the number one reason why people will coexist is because you're going to fall further and further behind if you don't. The second reason I proposed was that history proves you will. So I'm not picking on generations here, but when I first started getting on stages preaching about this was about 8 years ago. And at that time, the prevailing thought was that the world is screwed. We've got these pesky, lazy millennials, stuck on their cell phones on this app called Facebook. We're doomed. Do you remember that?
Now it's Zoomers. I used to make fun of millennials, but now I'm making fun of Zoomers.
But you made fun of
absolutely.
boomers. And I bet you, and I'm not calling you up specifically, but many baby boomers thought about that Facebook, time suck, all these things. Within 2 years, the biggest adopter of Facebook were who?
Yeah.
The baby boomers.
Was it baby boomers or Gen X? I always wonder about...
But the turning point came about 6 years ago because they finally saw the value proposition of meeting or reconnect with high school friends, college buddies, getting pictures and videos of their grandkids.
Yeah.
And now every boomer out there, look what I bought on Marketplace. You're convinced. So what did it take? It took one instance of seeing the value of that Facebook, which I'm not saying is good or bad, but when they found that, they're like, oh my gosh, there's value here. And the same thing happened with Airbnbs and Ubers and that. And AI is the next big thing. Yeah. The minute anyone who denies AI gets one piece of value proposition from it, you're never going back.
Yeah, well, I'm working with it a lot now, and you're preaching to the choir for me.
Okay.
I mean, I just really believe, wow, it's incredible what it's able to do. And every time I'm hearing the new things it can do, it's just coming up with more and more things. But boy, as a research tool, it's amazing.
It can be. And it's got its downsides, as you know, because there's recently in California another case where it went to court and they used some precedents that didn't even exist. And so there's issues with that.
Well, absolutely. And for lawyers, we need to be very careful not to allow our clients' private information to get out on the internet. So we do use a closed system for our listeners. So we're not really allowed to put our clients' personal information onto like Gemini or ChatGPT or something like
You've got governance to manage that.
But it's amazing what it does.
It does. Yeah, it is.
It's incredible, but wow, the future is going to be something else.
And you know what? If I quickly because people might be wondering, what's the third reason? I'm always a rule of three guy. The third reason why everyone's going to use AI is because your people are going to demand it. So my thesis is very simple. Your top talent who you're trying to attract, who you're trying to retain, they're worried about their futures too. And if whatever industry you're in, if your contemporary is using AI, has an AI strategy saying, let's understand this technology, and you're over here saying, no, we're scared, we're too risk averse, or we don't think it's real, where do you think top talent's going to gravitate to? And also, as the consumer understands, you're all using machine learning and AI today, your clients, is going to be, every consumer out there is going to expect some elevated level of personalization, which is going to only be enabled by AI. We're all going to expect it. So if you're not using it, you're falling behind the people that want it, which is your talent and your customers. Yeah,
there's a bit, I think most people understand that, but there's a bit of of concern or angst about it. Boy, I want to stay on top of it, and how do we do that? And so that's kind of where we're at. We feel we're with you. We want to stay on that crest of the wave, but how do you do that? And we're gonna need some help navigating through.
Well, you guys are doing really well, and I would say, particularly compared to your peers that I'm aware of, that you guys are embracing it far more than the average firm. I think that's fantastic, particularly because you've got good guardrails there. But one of the keys is you've got to democratize the process. And so this isn't about the partner saying down, hey, we all got to be using AI in this.
Well, I like to tell my employees it's always about the partners, but okay, I'll hear you out.
We got another podcast about that. Okay. But hear me out. What happens instead? If you go to your entire organization, from the intern to the whatever, I don't care how long you've been here, and say, what problems are you trying to solve?
Yeah.
And they turn that into an AI use case and allow them within your guardrails to dabble and play with AI. That's how you're going to stay current. It's never top down.
Yeah.
It's getting everyone in the organization who wants to.
But I disagree a little bit, because very often you see the management not embracing something, and so I think management does need to embrace it and encourage everybody to use it. And here we are making that concerted effort to do that. But yeah, I mean it's top down as well as bottom up, isn't it? So we've got to allow our employees to do that.
Yeah.
So, and we're trying.
I agree. What I meant was, it's not you forcing them. It's allowing them to come up with use cases and that. But absolutely leadership has got to be bought in. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going through that process right now. It's a lot of work. You know that whole working on your business instead of in your business thing. It's an interesting time to be a business owner right now for sure. But you're right. There's a lot of opportunity there as well. And now you've already done one of your speaker series here, sold out event, standing room only. The engagement was incredible. Like I said, there's a lot of people like me, or I want to be there, but how do I do it? I want to stay on the crest. Yeah. And so you got 2 more events coming up. And so to our listeners, we've got Rocky is doing an event here at FH&P June 5, and it's called "Story is the New Strategy."
Well, the death of Google, and really we're talking about SEO, and how people search today is going to be very different. And Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, he actually released some interesting stats, and we don't have time to go through all of them, but one thing is very clear, is that there's a certain generation that has completely turned off from standard search, and everything is going through some chatbot like Perplexity or ChatGPT or whatever.
What is Perplexity? I saw that. Who does Perplexity? Is that another one?
Yep. Yeah,
I'd read that somewhere, but I didn't know what it was.
So there's different chatbots out there anchored on different large language models, and each one does something just a little bit better than the other. So the big ones out there are obviously ChatGPT, and it's not even close, by the way. They're the biggest out there. Then if you're in a Microsoft environment, you're using Copilot. If you're in Google, it's Gemini. Cloud is a big one. Perplexity is the other. That's sort of the big 5, as I would say. And each one operates just a little bit different, right? And so Perplexity for me is really good at any kind of web search and some research stuff. We just planned our trip to New York, and Perplexity literally gave me clay. Like, it wasn't just he knew, like I said, I'm a Canuck fan, and I got to go to all the Canuck games. It literally mapped out to the step, if I wanted, leaving my hotel, how I would get to all the destinations I wanted to.
Oh, come on.
It did.
Really? And does it buy the tickets now? Will it do that for you?
So it will. So ChatGPT just turned this feature on, actually. So every one of them, you'll be able to seamlessly purchase and have that retail experience right within that chatbot. It's here now.
Yeah.
In fact, you should do that in ChatGPT. Just ask it, hey, whether the joke right now or the use case there was espresso machines. And there's a video out there asking it, and it came up with the top 4, and it went to Amazon, and you could buy it right there. And so it's coming. But anyway, the point is that SEO, how people listening, your organizations are advertising, if it's paid search, if all your dollars are in there, SEO is not going to be around in its current form for much longer.
So I wanted to ask you, how does that work? Like when I use one of these, it shows me the website that it's drawing the information from. Is that right?
So what are you talking, the ChatGPT and AI, or are you talking about Google?
Well, I was talking about like Gemini is the one that I've for whatever reason I've been using, and it says it'll give you the sources, and it shows a bunch of websites. And is that where it's drawing its
So it is, and so you can train these chatbots, by the way. So let's use ChatGPT, because in my opinion, it's the easiest one to train about you. So when I'm searching on ChatGPT, it's not giving me the top sites or products based on someone who paid to be at the top, or keywords that were in the website. It's thinking about me as a person. I live in Lake Country. I have a family. I've got a 15-year-old daughter. I love the Canucks. I got this. And based on what it knows about me, then it's going to give me a personalized answer. The old Google way is simply by who's paying to get to the top, sponsored it, or there's tricks around getting you higher rankings.
Sure, like putting blogs on and stuff like that.
Which is important still, by the way.
Oh, is it?
It's still important.
Ah, okay. Yeah. And that's what your next one is about? So the death of Google, are you going to give us some tips about how to, I guess, still be relevant in an
AI world? Exactly.
Ah.
And by the way, if anyone here listening or yourself are using Google today, you'll see that actually AI is the first response now.
Yeah.
Because they have to, because that's where the market's going. And whether or not that's going to be paid for in the future or not, that proves to you that the way rankings happen today is changing, because even Google had to, and they knew it was coming, by the way.
Yeah.
They had to adjust.
Yeah.
So yes, we will give them tactics on how to stay relevant in an AI-driven world versus an SEO paid search-driven world.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, that's going to be interesting.
And we'll, by
do
the
we
way,
keep
yeah.
doing blogs? Do we keep doing this type of stuff?
Yes.
Do we, you know?
Yes.
I don't know. I guess you'll tell us.
Yeah, and have a great story. So yeah, on June the 5th at that session, it's not just about AI.
Yeah.
It's about modern marketing, how people search. The younger generation, it's social media still. It's TikTok. Like, it's fascinating. You got my 15-year-old daughter. You want to know where she's going to buy stuff and it's TikTok, right?
Wow.
Our age, we're going on to our chatbots, and that's not SEO either. So yes, we're going to talk about not just AI, but how every different consumer
How do they
is
find
finding
FH&P lawyers
Exactly.
when it's not just paid to put us in the search result? Okay, well, so that's on June 5th. And then there's one more in this series on June 19th called Leadership in Times of Change.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. Do I need any kind of further education on leadership? Because I think I'm perfect.
Well,
so
let's ask your team.
I guess we'll find.
We'll see what they say.
We'll see what they say behind my back, maybe too. So,
yeah.
So that's that. I guess that's what is the time of change? Is that the AI again?
No, I think it's so we live in a world where there's just so much noise. So AI is just one of them, right? And we were talking before we started that there's geopolitical issues, and even tariffs come into play, and shareholder value, and there's just so much happening. Not to mention just general stress, cost of living, and all these things. And so we don't think, or leaders are as stressed and burned out as ever before. And what maybe used to work is not working today. And so we're going to talk about, we have at one of our partners is a head of leadership coaching, Allison, and she's going to sort of coach people through what does that burnout look like and how can you circumvent it and what are things you can do to mitigate it. And it's not just about work, it's your personal life. So we just think that the world is stressed and that we're part of it because we're pushing technology, we're pushing AI, we're pushing modernization. So we needed a solution to also bring calm to leaders who are going through this change that we're pushing them to go through.
Having to deal with Zoomers. Try and show up on time. Come on. So yeah, well, hopefully that's part of it. So
we could talk about generations for a long time.
So if you're interested in our speaker series and our inaugural speaker, Mr. Rocky Ozaki, now you can sign up online. And so thank you for coming out. And hey, we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah. Thanks very much.